Are you ready for some more dip stitches? Then you're gonna love the Treasure Trove shawl. The Treasure Trove shawl takes that dip stitch from the geogradient, and I just wanted to see that in a full entire shawl. So I used that same gradient color story and then just gave you a full dip stitch shawl. I called it the Treasure Trove shawl because it really reminds me of like a mermaid tail, these scales of stitches. And if I was a mermaid in the Arctic North, I don't know if I would survive, but I would with this shawl. It would keep me warm. So you could go with a whole mermaid color story. I think that would be really beautiful with aquas, purples, turquoises, jewel tones. These are really dusty seafoam colors. So I really like this color story with that scale mermaid tail inspiration. And it's such a special stitch because it gives that beautiful diamond. It really just forms a frame for each color that's like a treasured collectible for all your little color pops. So this is a really smoky, smooth blue, kind of blue-green. It's like a dusty teal tone using lots of our new Westwool shades. So the colors I used for this Treasure Trove were Sea Mist, Blue Spruce, North Sea, and Enchanted. 4 colorways. And that's enough if you have 2 skeins of Westwool for each color. So 2 skeins of each color. This is a bit brighter of a version using some of our original aqua and turquoise tones. So these are our new dusty. We have this kit at Stephen and Penelope. If you want a really smoky dusty, then go with this original Sea Mist Blue Spruce palette. This is Glass, Aquamarine, Brackish, and Norway. So we also have these colors as a kit, and it's a bit more into the vivid, bright aqua tones. But I think that would also look really, really nice. So you'll find lots of these 4 color palettes. If you're using Westwool, make sure you have 2 skeins of each color, and that'll give you plenty of yarn to knit this size. It's not the hugest schlanket. You could keep going if you have more yarn and just add more stripes to make it larger, but I wanted this to be just a nice little decorative feature for those colors. And for those of you that like the smaller, medium-sized shawls, I think you'll really find that this shawl doesn't take too much time to knit and just is a nice decorative showcase for those collectible treasure colors. So a Treasure Trove shawl, that dip stitch, if it's new to you, if you haven't done it in the geogradient shawl, it's that same stitch used in my mystery shawl border. If you haven't done it yet, there's a video linked in the pattern where I walk you through every step, but it's one of those stitches that is easier to knit than it looks. It makes this beautiful, complex assemblage of those diamond motifs, but you're only knitting with 1 color at a time. So with the dip stitch, you're diving down rows below and you're knitting over across some rows, so you're not knitting right into the next stitch. You're like going into the fabric and pulling these long strands through. But watch the dip stitch video. It's a free video here on YouTube, and it shows you exactly how to do that. And what I love about this shawl is you get to those final 5-stitch motifs at the end, but it starts with these really small 3-stitch motifs. And I just love how it organically flows throughout the body of the shawl. So 4 colors are what I wrote in the pattern to use for the yardage requirements, using colors A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. But I think this would be absolutely incredible with like 20 colors. So you could use like little leftover bits or balls from your socks or leftover shawl projects. So if you're using little amounts, I mean, what if you do like a multicolor, we got 5 colors so far. Don't stop, just add more colors. We've got 7, 8 colors going on. I think this will be really fun and vibrant. When in doubt, you could arrange those colors from light to dark to give a bit of a flow to the fabric. So light. Sometimes I don't know what color is the lightest and the darkest, so I take a black and white photo, and that could help show you the contrast. And sometimes I don't care. Like maybe one is technically lighter than the other, but I want the warm ones together, and then the yellowy ones together. So just make it up. Ooh, maybe this purple next to the peach. Ooh, where does this go? Ooh, sneak it in there. So just arrange your colors in any order. And if you have these little bits of yarn, the rows take different amounts of yarn as you increase the shawl because the stitches increase in size. So the best way to not run out of yarn as you're knitting a multicolor version, or I mean, even you could knit a 4-color version, but then occasionally just add like a random little color accent, like a 5th color pop. I think that could be beautiful, even with this blue. No, I changed my mind. I might keep it dusty. It's like just an extra shade, or maybe a gray. Yeah, if you just want a little highlight. So if you want to add any extra color, just weigh your yarn before you use it. So weigh your yarn and then knit a row or knit 2 rows to see how much yarn you're using. And then if you weigh your yarn after knitting 2 rows, you'll go, oh, I used 5 grams during those 2 rows. So I need 5 grams to knit my next 2 rows. So that'll give you a good sense of how much yarn you need for the stripes. So for example, when you're reaching the borders and you're like, oh, it's using a lot of yarn down there. Do I have enough yarn with this little nugget? Just weigh how much yarn you use. Weigh your yarn at the beginning. You could knit even a full stripe. These are 6-row stripes at the end. Knit 6 rows and go, oh, I used 15 grams. Do I have 15 grams? Nope, I can't use that color. So that'll save you a lot from having to rip back, and you won't run out of yarn. So weigh your yarn, see how much yarn a stripe takes, and then go, ooh, yeah, this will be enough. And then you can weigh your little leftovers and ensure that you have enough yarn to knit each stripe. So get creative with your colors. There's a lot of stripes throughout the body of the shawl, so you could do every single one a different color, or if you have a series of a gradient sequence, just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll get that really crispy, scaled quality with those solid yarns. But I think this could be gorgeous with a fade too. So if you've got 4 shades in like a light to dark speckled fade, you don't even have to repeat them every scale. Like maybe for the first batch here, could all be 1 color, and then you could do your 2nd color, and then your 3rd color, and then your 4th color. So you could kind of wash the colors completely from light to dark to get that ocean wash of color for your mermaid tail little scales. So that's the Treasure Trove shawl. It's a lot of color options for you to choose. So if you want me to do the color choosing for you, I put together some color combos. Those are all at stephenandpenelope.com. And if you put your own colors, I definitely want to see your progress. You can post those on Instagram using the Treasure Trove shawl hashtag. And yeah, use any yarn you like for this. Fingering weight works great. If your yarn is a little thicker, that's okay. You're just gonna get a bigger shawl. So this pattern is on Ravelry and Westknits.com, and it's your new landscape to paint those dip stitches with your own color story. So have fun, and thanks for watching this little shawl show, and I'll make some more for you soon. So I'll see you in the next one.